Okay, so I'm just going to walk through my strategy with you now of how I've managed to get my Twitter following from 0 to over 4,500 follows within a 2-month period using the tweet search option. Okay, so this is a tweet at a dashboard. If I had multiple Twitter accounts or managing multiple Twitter accounts, they'd all come up in here, but I only have one lonesome little fellow. That's this one here. It's my Youngpreneur blog, so I'm just going to click on that. Go through to the dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to be using tweet search, as I said, which if you go on the second column down on the left hand side, it's the third option, which is tweet search. And what tweet search allows you to do is search for relevant keywords within your niche that people have very recently tweeted about. Now what I like to do is you've got an option here of followers of a user. Okay, so what that allows you to do is follow authority figures or public figures who are on Twitter and are quite well established in their niche, and find followers of that person, because if they're in a similar niche to yourself, then hopefully their followers will like you and then in turn become your followers and enjoy your blog. But what I like to do is I like to double them up and use the keyword search in tweet search, but use that authority figure's name. So someone who I aspire to be like and whose blog I follow is Pat Flynn. And I know his Twitter name is in fact Pat Flynn. So if I were to use that as a keyword, that means that someone's very recently tweeted to Pat Flynn about a certain subject. So I'm going to use that as my keyword. So I'm doubling these up to get 2 for the price of 1 in effect. So Pat Flynn's my keyword. Location, I'm not bothered about that because Pat Flynn reaches a worldwide market or audience. Language, I will set to English, and max results, I'm going to keep it at 500. Okay, so I'll hit the search button, and what that will do is pull up 5 pages of 100 people that have very recently tweeted about Pat Flynn. So they're very targeted followers on Twitter. Okay, so here are the people that have very recently tweeted about Pat. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore all of this. It's actually pulled up 265 people. And I'm going to go down to the bottom right hand side and go on follow all later. And I'll explain why I'm going to do this. It's because what happens now when I hit that button is, again, on the left hand side above tweet search is follow later list. And they've been added to this list. What this allows me to do is change the settings from display last available tweet to display profile description. So this is this is their description of themselves on Twitter. So I can very quickly scan through these people, and people that I don't think are very relevant to my Twitter following or my blog, I can just discard them. But generally speaking, like they're all going to be very well targeted. And what I'm going to do is follow these people in a large volume of follows at a time. Okay, so my Twitter following, as I said, is over 4,500 people now. So I've got a lot more leeway to follow large volumes of people. But if I were just starting out with TweetAdder and I had, say, 50 followers, I don't want to follow more people that are following me, especially in one big hit, because Twitter are going to look at that and think that that's really spammy and it's a bit too automated, and it's a false account, and you're just trying to your aim is to just get a lot of follows and not add value. Okay, but that's obviously not our intentions. We want to get a lot of followers, but we want to also add value. So what I'm now going to do is just follow 50 of these people. So I've capped my daily follows to 200 people because that gives me enough leeway to follow and then unfollow people, so that my follows don't get higher than the amount of people following me back. I hope that makes sense. So like I said, I use 4 keywords every day, 50 people per keyword. So I can see here that 265 people are on this list, so I'm going to take it down to 215 and just, there we go, follow, all the way down to 215 people. There we go, so I've just followed 50 people in one hit. Now what is now going to happen is they're going to see that I followed them and hopefully check out my Twitter profile and think, oh, he's an interesting guy, like in a similar niche to Pat Flynn. I like him, so I'm going to follow him. And then hopefully my tweets will then drive these people to my blog. Okay, so how do I keep my follows lower than my following? That's another interesting strategy because, like I said, you can't allow your your follows to get higher than your following because Twitter don't like that. What TweetAdder allows you to do is unfollow people that are not following you back. Okay, so on the left hand side again, third column down, on the not following back section, you can hit the not following back page. And what that allows you to do is target only show users followed using TweetAdder, because there are certain authority figures that I like on Twitter but I have added manually, people like Tim Ferriss or Entrepreneur Magazine or Success Magazine. I obviously haven't targeted them through TweetAdder, so it only shows users that I've followed using TweetAdder. And I can also change the settings to hide users followed within the last 3 days. What that allows people that I've followed using TweetAdder to do is it gives them a 3-day window to follow me back. So people after the 3-day period, if they haven't followed me back, I'm going to then unfollow them. And as you can see, there's 34 people in this list that have not followed me back. And obviously the name of the game here is to get people to follow you back. So I'm just going to go through this list and unfollow all of them. There's only 34 people in here. And what I'll also do is go over to the left hand side again, and people that are inactive, so they're not on Twitter very often, there's only one, I'm going to unfollow them as well. And in the foreign language, see there's 37 people here. So they speak a foreign language to English. And TweetAdder should have picked that up with the search. Initially, only target people who are English speaking, but sometimes they slip through the net. And obviously they're not very relevant to my blog, sorry. Okay, so that is basically my whole TweetAdder strategy in a nutshell, and how I've managed to get 4,500 Twitter followers within a 2-month period. I've been quite aggressive with my scale here, but as I said, I've started off very small, so only following, say, 10 people per day, and hoping that they'll all follow me back, and then unfollowing the ones that don't. Okay, so I hope that helps, and any questions, please leave a comment in the comment section below on the blog, and I'm happy to help you out wherever I can. See you later.